during the duration of the meeting. And if you wish to ask a question online, please raise your electronic hand. And if you're in the chamber, please raise your hand. Thank you. Sorry, Councillor Clement Williams, please.
Thanks, Chair. Sorry, I had put notes on my papers earlier, but I hadn't put bookmarks on for item 12. I did have a couple of questions there. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Okay. Before we move on, I'd like to bid a warm welcome, croeso, to Mr. Nolwenn Daniel, who's Director of Strategic and Corporate Services, who's joined us this afternoon for the first Cabinet Scrutiny meeting. Welcome. Moving along, agenda item 2, declarations of interest. I'll kick this off. I've got a declaration of interest on item 18, which is personal, as I'm a member of Neath Cricket Club. Are there any declarations of interest? Councillor Helen Kerry-Clark.
Yeah, I've got a declaration of interest on number 17. My son attends Bulldogs.
Thank you, Helen. Anyone else? Okay, moving along. Agenda item 3 are the minutes of the previous meeting. The minutes are attached at pages 5 to 18 of the agenda pack for the minutes. Are there any, I've read through them, has anybody got any queries on the minutes? I can't see any indications. I'm happy to propose that these minutes are correct.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Henton. Agenda item 4 is the report of the Welsh Language Promotion Strategy Task and Finish Group on pages 19 to 164 of the Cabinet Scrutiny report. It's up to me as chair of this Task and Finish Group to introduce this. Can I ask officers if they have anything further to add?
No, Chair, nothing to add.
Thank you. Do members have any questions related to this item? Councillor Percy.
Diolch, Cadeirydd. Yeah, it might be more appropriate for me to make my comments on this item rather than item 8 in the Cabinet papers. It's relation to the work of the Task and Finish Group. Yeah, I just wanted to make a couple of brief comments. As a member of that group, I thought it was very useful, very helpful. I think it was a really productive sort of set of meetings we had over the course of the few months when we were discussing the Welsh language strategy. There was a really nice mix of us in the group as well. I'm a Welsh learner. We had fluent Welsh speakers, people who don't speak Welsh, and I just wanted to just say that it'd be interesting if we can think about how we can kind of continue that, maybe whether it's the same group but like that an ongoing process of just having that a member involvement in the Welsh language in the council. See Marcus put a hand up as well, but it was really, I thought it was really good. We were coming up with some really interesting ideas and suggestions, some of which have been captured in the strategy, some of which kind of felt slightly outside the strategy, and some I think it would just be really good if we could keep tabs on that on a rolling basis. So just wanted to make that point and just thank everyone really for everyone engaged in such a positive way at doing the whole process. It was really good.
Thank you, Councillor Percy. I totally agree. I've enjoyed it, and I'm actually starting to learn Welsh. Get little bits and pieces in my meetings every now and again, a little bit. Councillor Marcia Spooner, please.
Diolch Cadeirydd, a diolch I Councillor Percy am beth wedodd e. Thank you, Sean, for your kind words. It was interesting. It was really good. I just want to sort of emphasise that this should be a living document. We should be reviewing it, not just tick a box and put it back on the shelf, and that it's throughout the authority. You know, it's not just one directorate, it's for all of us to use. Social services, we know that as people get older, they return to their sort of mother tongue. And so we need, if we've got carers and things that can speak to them and make them feel at home. I mean, that puts it on a bit with the standards report we've got a bit later on with staffing, but it is all combined. And I would just like to say that, yeah, if we can put it in, get reviews going so we can see where we are when we're monitoring our targets. And one thing we did pick up was we had numbers of the number of Welsh speakers in the Welsh areas, if you like. But it'd be nice to see throughout the authority, because there may be bits that are increasing, hopefully. And that, you know, we can see when we look back, maybe in a year, 6 months to a year, we can then see, well, what happened there? Why is that working? Why isn't it working over here? And then we can move on from that. But otherwise, yeah, fully commend the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Spooner. I agree. Yeah, it does give figures on the different wards, but it doesn't show what it was previously. So it would be a nice starting point now to see how we can increase. One of the things that have come up with a lot in the comments on the consultation was how targeted 1%. Some were saying it was a bit ambitious because we didn't hit it last time, and some were saying it's not ambitious enough. But I understand that we're going to review this on an annual basis and hopefully set targets. So Councillor Percy did bring up, but we'll hopefully revisit this. It's definitely going to be on an annual basis anyway, so hopefully we can track that and try and encourage people to speak Welsh. No. Can I bring in Councillor Alan Llewellyn, Deputy Leader, please?
Yeah, diolch yn fawr, Cadeirydd. Thanks very much, Chair. With your permission, I'll make just a few brief comments here, rather than waiting for the Cabinet report, as we've been having the discussion in scrutiny. Hoffwn i ddiolch i'r aelodau, y swyddogion a'r partneriaid sydd wedi gweithio y strategaeth. Thanks to the members of the Task and Finish group, the officers and the partners who have all worked together on this revised strategy. I'm conscious that it was difficult to progress the previous version of the strategy over the COVID period, which impacted not only on the Council, but on the work of our partners too, and of course on a whole range of community organisations that would usually have been involved. So it's important that we have this opportunity to revise and reset the strategy. And it's important, as mentioned a few minutes ago, that it's seen as a work in progress, that it's a live document that will be implemented and updated with additional ambitions for strengthening awareness and use of our iaith, the Welsh language, in all our communities and in the work of the Council. Felly diolch unwaith eto. Thanks again to everyone for their work on this strategy.
Diolch, Alan. Can I bring Councillor Percy back in for a moment, please?
Diolch, thank you. I just wanted to just emphasise again perhaps the point maybe slightly missed that I made is that certainly myself as a member of that Task and Finish group would be very happy to continue to sort of engage as an interested member in progressing the Welsh language in the Council and wider. And I just want to kind of make that offer known. Although the Task and Finish group has stopped, I think we were doing some interesting work, and that's an offer I just kind of want to be on the table for officers who are working on this area. We can be a sounding board. We've looked into this now in quite a lot of detail. Even if that's on an informal basis, I'd be more than happy to sort of continue to give a little bit of input, and I welcome the opportunity to do that. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Percy. I'm of the same view as well. I would like to continue as well. So that's an excellent idea. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or announcements on this? I cannot see any hands. We'll move along. The recommendation is listed on page 22 of the Cabinet Scrutiny agenda. I am more than happy to propose this. Can I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Henton. Can members please indicate if they wish to abstain?
I can see no abstentions, Chair.
Thank you. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary, then I will take it that this decision is supported.
I can see no indications to the contrary, Chair, so the decision is supported.
Thank you, Alison. Moving along, we're moving along now to agenda item 5 is pre-decision scrutiny. We're going to move to the Cabinet Board agenda. And as already indicated, and because Councillor Percy's already made his comment, we'll now be scrutinising items 9, 13, 14, 17 and 18. Okay? Oh, and number 12 for Councillor Clement Williams as well, sorry. 9, 12, 13, 14, 17 and 18. Okay, we'll start on the first one then. Item number 9. Item number 9 is council tax premiums, long-term empty homes and second homes. They're listed on pages 259 to 278 of the Cabinet papers. Officers, would you like to add anything additional to the report? Can I ask item 9?
Me, Chair.
Sorry, over to you, Hugh. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. No, I've nothing to add, Chair. Happy to take any questions, and just to note, my colleague Anne Hinders on the call will be able to provide far better, more detailed answers than myself. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Hugh. Go to questions next then. First up is Councillor Carol Clement Williams, please.
It's not so much a question, Chair, as a comment. Completely understand where this is coming from and the reasons to try to get these premises back up and running functionally. Just wanted to say that also, as we're in a period of austerity at the moment, when decisions are made, that is taken into account before any decisions are made. Times are hard for everyone. I know they're hard for the council, but they're hard for everyone. So just to keep that in mind when decisions are made. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clement Williams. That is duly noted. Okay. Are there any other questions on this item, please? Sorry, over to Councillor Simon Noyle, please.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to add to the report and to say thank you to the officers for pulling this forward and bringing it for us here today. As we can see in the financial impact section, there is quite a large saving that could be made if we implement this. I'm grateful to the officers for bringing it forward, and obviously we'll go for consultation now and come back to us before a decision is made. And I think I'm right in saying that consultation period will run for a while, and any decision we make will not be implemented next financial year, but the financial year thereafter. So we've got time to consider this, in detail. But it's an awful lot of money that we could make savings within the following year's financial budget, if you know. Yes, I'm grateful for this for coming forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Noyle. Okay. Councillor Carol Clement Williams, is that a...
No, Chair, I'd like to just come back on that, but very briefly. Just to say that it's not savings, it would be income generated, not savings. And thanks, it is remiss of me not to have thanked the staff, which I normally do, for putting the report together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Clement Williams. Thank you very much. On to item 12. This is the Q4 performance monitoring, which is on pages 303 to 328 of the Cabinet. Oh, sorry, it's a vote on the council tax. My apologies. I've done that before, haven't I? Make a mistake once. It's okay, you're a fool if you do it twice. There we are. I'm happy to propose item 9, council tax premiums. Could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
The members please indicate if they wish to abstain.
I can see no abstentions, Chair.
Thank you, Alison. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary, then I will take it that this decision is supported to Cabinet.
I can see no indications contrary, Chair, so the decision is supported to Cabinet.
Thank you, Alison. Right then, on to item 12. Okay. I'll repeat again then, if I get my pages the right way around. This is the Q4 performance monitoring on pages 303 to 328. Officers, would you like to add anything additional to the report?
From me, Chair.
Thank you. We'll now move. Do members have any questions for the officers? I have Councillor Carol Clement Williams first, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it's the average waiting times for the call handling that I wanted to bring up. They're both in red. I understand, the Welsh language issues, but it's not just the Welsh language, it's the English. And I'm wondering what's being done to mitigate that, to try to pull that back. And the other one was the completion of the mandatory safeguarding training. That one scares me a bit. Safeguarding should be 100% all along, and I'm really struggling to understand why it's 25%. Is it, I'm assuming 75 is 3/4, or quarter of the people haven't done it. Is that, am I reading it right? But I mean, that is a worry. That is a worry, because if it's mandatory training, there shouldn't be any excuses not for doing it unless you're not in work.
Thank you, Councillor Clement Williams. Can I bring Sean back in on this, please?
Thank you, Chair. Can I take the second question and then the first one then? Sylvia will answer, is that okay? In relation to the safeguarding training, is it okay if I take the question away to HR and get a better response, a fuller response, if that's okay?
Okay. Is that okay, Councillor Clement Williams? Yes, we're happy.
Yeah, but if we're doing that, Chair, can we put it onto the agenda for the next meeting, please?
Certainly.
Because
No
I
problem.
really do want answers.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question 1.
Sorry, Sylvia.
Thank you, Chair. That's me. I'm not sure whether you attended the member seminar earlier this year where we gave quite a detailed report about customer services and performance and how we're going to take that forward, being that customer service is now part of people and organisational development. So what we're proposing to do is to do a full review of customer service throughout the council, which will, as we said in that presentation, there's lots and lots of factors affecting performance on phone calls. Our performance indicator is answering calls within 40 seconds. That's quite a short time to answer calls, when of course the team do other things as well other than just phone calls. But the phone calls can be a result of things that happen elsewhere, where the customer service team, for example, have no control over. So the reasons are all set out in the report. The detail is all in there. But as I said, we will start pulling the scope together for a full customer service review to tackle this and other issues around customer services.
Thank you, Sylvia. Councillor Clement Williams?
Yeah, just to say, yeah, it was something that we brought up in the forward work programme meeting, wasn't it? That, you know, members had indicated that we would be happy to be involved in that. There was a couple of us who had, and officers said that they would be keen to get our input. So I'm thanking Sylvia for that, because I thought that would have already started, but by the sound of it, it hasn't. And I just wanted to extend that invitation again to say that I know that Councillor Galsworthy worked in a call centre in Swansea Council, and that I've got call centre experience as well. And the invitation is still there for us to get involved with some of that. So thank you, Sylvia, for your response. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Clement Williams. Just the thing is, the item you talked about was on the PNR forward work programme, not on the Cabinet Scrutiny.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I bring in Councillor Charlotte Galsworthy, please?
It's more of an observation, really, and a little question to Sylvia. In regards to, obviously, when a caller calls in, I think that actually it would be better to have an option, whether it's in Welsh or English. The amount of time that someone's got to wait on the phone to listen to the Welsh first, then obviously all of the English is a bit time consuming, if I'm being honest. And also when you're saying about timings, I think 40 seconds is a fantastic time, to be honest, considering it was like more like half hour with Swansea, in my experience. And does the recording start at the timing start after the actual recordings, or is it when the actual phone call is answered?
Can I bring Sylvia back in, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. The clock starts ticking after the recording finishes. So that's when you know the 40 seconds starts. But just to reiterate, yes, we have started the thinking about it, but the new customer services manager started in post on the 1st of June. So that'll be the first very big task to get underway. And I'd appreciate everybody's feedback with that. And yes, thank you for the offer to be part of that group. There will be several sessions with members, with customers, first and foremost. So that'll all be included in the review.
Thank you, Sylvia. Are you happy with that, Councillor Goldsworthy?
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Are there any other questions on this item? Okay, then. I notice this report is for monitoring only. Thank you. Moving along to item 13, revenue outturn and reserves position statement 2022 to 2023 on pages 329 to 342 of the Cabinet agenda. Officers, would you like to add anything additional to this report?
No, nothing to add. Thank you, Chair. No, but obviously happy to take questions from members. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. Go on to questions and members' questions. And I have, for this item, I have a few lined up. We'll go first to Councillor Carol Clement Williams, please.
Sorry, it's me again. Yeah, on page 330, it says about the overspend in home to school transport, and it does mention some of the issues around that. I was just wondering if there had been any work done during the budget setting process. Part of the Labour group's response was to investigate innovative and other ways of possibly looking at home to school transport. Wondering if anything has been looked at, done, or even is anyone even considering looking at the way it's all done. There's out-of-county placements. I just wanted to say that I'm very pleased to see that our young people are coming nearer to home for that, and you know, an excellent result there for education. That's really heartening. And also the additional funding earmarked for the counselling services in schools. As we all know, I think we all took a hit during COVID on our well-being, and our young people are certainly struggling at the moment. The you know, exclusions are running at a high, and I'm really pleased and recognise, you know, that this is a real plus. So there's two, you know, things that I'm really pleased about in this report. But just wondering if somebody was looking at that home to school transport and looking to see if there's other or innovative ways that other people are doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clement Williams. Can I hand over this one to Mr. Andrew Thomas, please?
Yeah, certainly, Chair. The very short answer, Carol, is yes. The slightly more expanded answer is, as part of a budget setting process for this year and future years, there's a range of strategic reviews ongoing, the outcome of which will be reported to members as part of the budget setting process for this year. So we are equally concerned about the overspend and the pressures on the home school budget. So we have commissioned some work to do a strategic review of not just home school transport, but transport across the council, and the findings from that will be reported as part of this year's budget setting process.
I'm really pleased to
Thank
hear
you,
that,
Andrew.
and thank you, Chair, and thank you, Andrew, for that response.
You're welcome,
Thank
Carol.
you. Thank you both. Next up, I have Councillor Sean Percy, please.
Diolch, Cadw, thank you. Yeah, my question is around the movement of some of the underspending to the reserve pots, and there's one in particular referencing capacity to support projects in regeneration or capacity building. I just wondered whether we could have a bit more information on what that reserve might be used for. Is that to employ additional staff for a limited period of time to kind of deal with a particularly intense period of regeneration projects, or have I kind of misinterpreted that? But that's how it seems to look to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Percy. Can I hand over to Hugh on this one, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. So yes, Councillor Percy, the funding will be potentially used for employing more staff to help out with a sort of temporary blip. As you know, we've got the Freeport, we've got Wild Fox, we've got GCRE on the sort of books at the moment. So it may be used to increase capacity in Simon's area to provide support. It may also be used for maybe commissioning some sort of external advice in some of these areas, because we don't have the expertise in-house. And also, if you recall, back in May, when the Cabinet approved the latest Freeport report, there was a commitment in there that we would or could contribute £200,000 towards the cost of the Freeport development. So this reserve will also be used for that if required. So, yeah, okay, Chair.
Thank you, Hugh. Councillor Percy, happy with the response?
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you, Councillor Percy. Next up, can I bring in Cabinet Member Councillor Simon Noyle, please?
I've got nothing further to add at this stage. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Simon. Oh, are there any other questions, please? Oh, sorry, Councillor Galsworthy, please.
Again, it's not a question. It's just it's been mentioned. It's about the home transport. If Andrew, you can just go back to the staff and thank Brendan and the team, because last year in this, it was they worked around the clock to basically try and get the drivers and everything. And sometimes we as members don't actually see the stress and the work that goes on behind the scenes. And in fairness, you know, there was big issues and the team did overcome it. So if you can just go and give thanks for that. And also welcome Nolan. I forgot to say last time.
Thank you,
Will
Councillor
do,
Galsworthy.
Charlotte. Yeah, I'll make sure that happens. They actually work in the environment director, but obviously they work hand in glove with officers within education. So I'll make sure both teams get thanked. Thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you, Andrew. I note, are there any other questions? Sorry. I note that this report is for monitoring only. On to item 14, the Welsh Language Standards Annual Report 2022-2023 on pages 343 to 368 of the Cabinet papers. Officers, would you like to add anything additional to the report?
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing to add at this time.
Thank you. Questions? I've got Councillor Marcia Spooner, please.
Diolch, Cadeirydd. Thank you. As you'd expect, I'll come back on this. As I mentioned it briefly earlier, obviously it's the Welsh Language Commissioner's report on our Welsh standards. It was 2022 to 2023, and we have been working on this, as obviously you know, from the Task and Finish group. Minor issues they found, telephone calls while we were working on that, some documents and the website. I did touch earlier on recruitment and advertising, and obviously there are, as I said, it's throughout the authority, and it should be something that we're mindful of when we're doing things. I think the only query I've got is more information about the complaints. I think it was on page 363 of the document, and I'm not going over old issues, but it's the appeal that the authority have in against the decision regarding the schools. Now, I noticed there's no date for the appeal yet. Is there any further information on this? And I don't want to go using cliches like we are where we are, we must move on, learn lessons. But obviously, any further information we can have that can help us, I'd be grateful for. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Spooner. Someone picking this up?
Thank
Thank you.
I don't know whether Andrew would like to give an update on that.
Sorry, you're on mute, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry, Chair, I don't have an update on that. I'm sorry.
Okay, Councillor Spooner.
We'll have to get back to Councillor Spooner, Chair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a watching brief, I guess, but if you can just keep an eye on it and then let us know any information, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, will do.
Lovely. Thanks, Andrew. Councillor Percy, please.
Diolch, Cadeirydd. Ie, hoffwn I ofyn cwestiwn am cyfieithiad. I'd like to ask a question about translation, which is, I think, on page 17 of the appendix. There's something that came up in the Task and Finish group discussion, actually, and I just wanted to kind of draw attention to it again because I thought it was quite important. Is just to understand whether we are going to be looking at the translation service we offer for staff and also what we could offer members in terms of translation services. This only kind of gives a really brief overview of the headline kind of costs, but it's also a little vague. It says we're able to be identified, so I'm not really sure how robust that that data is. But just to sort of kind of keep everyone in the loop, in the discussion we had in the Task and Finish group, I sort of brought up some of the translation services that the Senedd offer, for example, for their elected members, which is allows you to send them machine translations to be proofread, which is obviously much lower cost than directly translating documents, and allows the Senedd to offer a much wider service for a lower cost than they'd otherwise be able to. And
We've lost you speaking, Councillor
Gone on
Percy.
to mute, Sean.
oh no, apologies.
Must have hit it. Yeah. Just repeat the last half a minute, okay?
Wait, at what point did I get to?
Proofreading.
I think you're on about the translation, and it's offered by the Welsh Assembly.
Yes,
and we're looking at developing it more in-house.
Yeah, it was just whether we are looking at expanding the translation offer, particularly with the advances in machine translation and the services being offered by the Senedd. Yeah, that sums it up, deal.
Thank you, Councillor Percy. Can I bring Noelwen in on this one, please?
Yeah, diolch Cynghorydd Percy am y cwestiwn. Felly, as a new director I'm keen to look at the translation situation within Neath for Talbot Council. I understand we outsource that at the moment. So certainly as part of some of the reviews I'll be carrying out initially, the Welsh language, and taking on board the recommendations within the task and finish papers. We'll certainly be looking in detail at where we can improve and strengthen the use of the Welsh language and our translation facilities in-house as well. Diolch.
Thank you, Noelwen. Councillor Percy, you happy with that? Lovely, thank you. Thank you very much. Again, this report is for monitoring only. Thank you. We're back to the Cabinet Scrutiny agenda now, which is agenda item 6, which is the Forward Work Programme. This item is just for noting, unless members have any comments. Do we have any comments on the Forward Working Programme, please? No, I cannot see anybody indicate. Agenda item 7 is for urgent items. I have none. Agenda item 8, access to meetings, proposed, and a second, I'd like to propose, please, to exclude the public from the private items.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Henton.
Can we now stop the recording, please?